What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about relationships, and it's kind of a continuation from the last video I made talking about dating apps and sort of my opinions and all the issues attached with them. So, I figured it would be a good uh, continuation to talk about actual relationships. And, you know, they don't have to just be from dating apps per se. I'm talking about, uh all relationships, all relationships. And yeah, I mean, losing my train of thought, guys, I'm sorry. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about particularly me and relationships, and I'll give like some opinions and advice on general stuff. But my the title of this video says I've only ever been in one relationship in 22 years, and this is true 100%. um I don't want to talk about this relationship actually in this video, although I will talk about it in other videos. But I want to talk about the lack of relationships for me, and how this is something that a lot of people seem to be dealing with in today's society. So yeah, um, only one in 22 years, and the general information on this relationship is that it lasted about 6 months, and I was about the age of 17. So we're talking about almost 5 years already. Right? Yeah, actually, yes, 5 years exactly already. Um, as I remember it starting in the summer of 2019. But that's all I'm going to give about that today, because I want to talk about all these other years that I haven't dated and all that other stuff. It's just, it's difficult. I know, I know I say that about everything I've talked about so far on this channel, but this one really hits, really hits me. I just, it's just, it's frustrating beyond belief. Just not being able to find somebody, not being able to experience dating for what it is. And yes, I have experienced it. One last thing I will leave you with about that relationship: it was extremely toxic, very, very horrible situation for me. And it really, it takes a toll on you. It really does. It almost feels like having nothing is better than having toxicity in relationships. But anyway, you know, I guess I could say that, you know, when I say like, oh, it's hard to make friends, like I talked about, and like, dating apps are hard, that stuff can certainly relate to this issue with struggling to find relationships. And at the end of the day, it's very hard nowadays to try and talk to girls, for me. And I know that this is a huge problem that a lot of guys deal with. And you know if, like I always say, if you're relating to this, that's fantastic. That's why I'm here. And you can always, about anything I ever talk about, leave a comment. Like I always say, my DMs are open on Instagram. We can talk about this or anything else that you want to. But anyway, it's just, you know it, there's a fear of rejection involved, and that's a big part. That's a big part of it. When you've experienced rejections for so much in your life. And I'm no stranger to rejection. I'm sure many aren't. uh it makes you afraid to try again. It does. It makes you afraid to try anymore. And you know dealing with rejection is horrible, absolutely horrible. And you might be thinking, well, how many hundreds of thousands of girls have you tried to hit on, Charles? And like what, like how often do you get rejected, Charles? And per se at this point, and generally throughout life, I can't even say that much. And you might be thinking, well, if that's the case, then what's up with this? Why are we even talking about this? Well, I feel like I've prevented a lot of rejection by not doing anything. If I feel like a girl obviously has no interest in me, I don't do anything about it. And it's almost like people say, shoot your shot, you never know. You know, they could really like you. It could be in your head, but come on, there's a certain extent where it's obvious. And I in that case, I don't ever actually try. uh but I don't know. I mean, and you always have limiting thoughts. Like, you always like think like there's the league system where they're out of my league. And there's people that think, oh, well, they're too attractive for me, they're too good for me, all this yada yada. And of course I've dealt with that stuff. And the irony is that these are always things that I tell other people, like, not to worry about. And I'm always one to just tell people things I should do, but I don't do them. I'm sure everybody else is like this too. But yeah, I mean, just these limiting beliefs. And at the end of the day, the positive people are right. You truly never know. But it's so hard. And I'm sorry if I am just like being so random here, because with all these videos, because I feel like I'm not the best at delivering these conversations. I may not be saying the best things, bringing the best things to the table, but I'm just trying to speak my mind and talk about just how I feel, in hopes that people out there feel this way also, and can truly get something out of it and relate and feel like they aren't alone, because that's a big thing that I keep driving home so far in this channel, is that you are not alone in this. There are so many people out there who feel like they are struggling to find partners, and it's not just dudes. There's also girls. Dating in today's society is very difficult, like everything else. I feel like it's just today's society is hard, and I hate it. Honestly, I don't understand why it has to be this way, but it is, and there's nothing I can do to personally change it. But yeah, I mean, honestly, starting from, elementary school, I would just always be so, like, when I was younger, I would get enamored by a girl in class or something every year, and I'd be infatuated with them, have a huge crush on them, and I would just talk about them to all my friends. And, believe it or not, I would tell my family, and I would just go on and on and on about them. And I would never really ever do anything about it. And then I just remember the infamous last day of school. It would always be that now or never. It was the worst feel. Oof, excuse me. It was the worst feeling. Oh my god, guys, I apologize. Yeah, because it's either do what you're so afraid to do, or just suffer the defeat ultimately. You're going to go home for 2 to 3 months and not see this person again. And, there were a couple times that I would take action. And, I love saying this, but I may make a video talking about different, experiences with approaches and shooting my shot. And, the reason why I don't cover all these subtopics in the same video is because the video would be so long. And I know people don't always want to sit and listen to 30 to 40-minute conversations. So I try to keep them at a minimum and talk about one subject at a time. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about any in particular, but they pretty much always either it was always either I don't do anything. Why am I yawning? Wow. I'm sorry. I keep feeling like I interrupt my train of thought, but I either do nothing or I would do something and fail. Yes, I failed all the time. And I guess the last thing I will leave you with that relationship again. I know I keep saying it's the last thing, but this is an important detail. The girl pursued me pretty much. I didn't pursue her. So, literally that just goes to show you how little I would do this. And you know, I'm like conflicted. I'm conflicted right now in just disappointment, thinking, am I avoiding failure, or am I um just avoiding, like, am I actually avoiding potential relationships? And it's hard for me to believe option B. It's so much easier to believe option A, because it's just very hard. It's very hard. And kids in school really find ways to beat you down and make you insecure. And I've dealt with that so much growing up, and I think it's shaped me into who I am today a little bit. Not defining me, but a little bit. And it just, the remembering what those people say, and like, I just feel like sometimes I feel like that's what everybody is automatically gonna think of me. Oh, wow, I did not pick the right time to record this, guys. I'm so sorry. But anyway, yeah, I mean, there's that. There's the confusion, there's the just insecurities that really stem from people who drill them into your head. And it's like, I feel like, and it's stupid to say, but I feel like I'm not a super attractive person. And people will try and shoot me down on that and say, you are, but it's always like friends, family. Now, tell me, do your friends and family tell you you're attractive? I'm sure pretty much everybody will say yes, because they will always do that no matter what. That's just how it is. And they always are like, well, why don't you believe us? Well, because of what I just said. But yeah, it's tough out here. It's tough. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm super desirable. It's hard to find the right person. And I I hate that I'm 22 and I've only had one. People say you're young. People say you have time. Well, guess what? I'm not getting any younger. I'm not getting any more time. It it's just, it's continuing, and it's going very fast. Very fast. And I don't know. And I know that a lot of people who are in the previous generations were getting married, or at least meeting the love of their life, their future husband or wife, at my age, or wow, another one near my age. And I feel so behind. I feel so behind. And I know there's so many people out there who can relate to this, because I see it. I see other people just like me doing just what I'm doing. I'm sure anybody watching has seen this at least once, especially if you watch this kind of content a lot. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much out of ideas on this one. Stay strong, guys. I know it's really hard. I'm struggling a lot, you know. I'm getting worn out just by talking about this, guys. Like I keep yawning and stuff. Like it's exhausting. It really is. But I mean, I'm just being sarcastic, but yeah, no, it really is exhausting, and I just it's such a broad topic that I truly have been struggling to keep this conversation going. So I do apologize about that. I feel like I could have said all this in less time, but I didn't. So if you are still watching to this point, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate you, as you endured 15 minutes of my shenanigans talking about how hard dating is. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end it off here. Like I was saying, stay strong. As always, comment your thoughts, say anything you want to say, and feel free to DM me on Instagram. They are always open. But anyway, guys, have a good night or day whenever you're watching. Always stay strong. You'll be okay no matter what happens. And I'll see you in the next video.